Black Entrepreneurs Group. Lovely.
What's going on, everybody? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Man, I'm giving y'all something heavy today. I'm telling y'all, man, this one right here, this one is really, really, really good. I was watching something on YouTube and it struck me. Something struck me, it hit me, and I want to bring it to you. And I was watching a video, and basically the guy, he was speaking on, yourself. He was speaking on self-reflecting. Do you really take time to self-reflect on the things that you say, the things that you do, and things like that? Do you really take it serious? Do you really take time out to really think about, the battles that you face? A lot of times as people, we find ourselves in position to where we really don't take stuff serious. Like, we really just blame other people for our downfalls or our shortcomings rather. And the topic of the video that I was watching was I think it was by Dr. Matthew Stevens. It was called Me Versus Me. And it struck me because a lot of times I find myself in this box to where it's like, I struggle with me versus me. Like Andy the mentor versus Andy the person. I do it every single day. I find myself in a position to where it's like, darn, man, like I can't figure out what's really bothering me, and it's me. A lot of times I feel like as people, we pass judgment on people, and we forego a lot of things based off of what we doing. I know a lot of times I post on Facebook, I post on Instagram about being positive and things like that. But a lot of times, it's hard being positive when you're in a negative situation or you're in a negative world with negative people. I feel like as a person, we should take the time out every single day to make somebody's day better. Whether it's, a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, a husband, a significant other. Do you really take time out to self-evaluate yourself? We subconsciously post on Facebook about, things that we go through or people that we tend to, throw shade on and things like that. And I feel like, as 2019 comes to an end and you're getting ready to walk into a new season, you're getting ready to walk into a new year. I've heard it tons of times, man. 2020 vision, man. Get your vision clear. Make sure you got a purpose. Make sure you're aiming to please thyself, but you're also not being by yourself. I'm not telling you to go out there and be by yourself. Nobody wants to be by themselves. I feel like you have to get over the struggles of you. You are the contributing factor to a lot of your demise. A lot of your downfall is your fault. And until you can own the things that you've done or that you're doing that's, causing your downfall, you'll never be able to really focus on what it is that you want to do, because a lot of times we find ourselves in a position to where we always point a finger. I feel like being 30 years old has taught me a lot. It's teaching me that at some point you got to really self-evaluate yourself, and you got to really know what you're doing. You got to know the direction you're going. You got to know what you want to see. Write the vision, make it plain, man. Really take the time out to sit down, plan your life, because life is short, and you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, man. Live every day like your last. If it's circles that have been broken, you need to mend it. Mend broken relationships, mend broken friendships. Take the time out to really apologize, man. Like, don't just say I'm sorry. Like, really mean it. Really take the time out to really evaluate your situation to make it better. Because at the end of the day, if something happens, you have no one to blame but yourself, because you didn't really take it serious. Me versus me, just really being sold on yourself, being able to say, okay, you know what? This is an area I struggle in. Let me fix it. Let me move on. Let me move forward. Let me take the time out to really assess the situation and make the best of it. Throughout my time of, being mentored and being a mentor, I always, and I mean always took the time out to say, if it's broken, you can fix it. If a relationship is broken, you can fix it. Now, the two people in it may not want to fix it, but that's a choice. Whether that relationship is, to a point to where it can't be mended, like it's that broken. I don't think there is a situation that's not fixable. It'd have to be really dramatizing for it not to be fixable. I feel like as human beings, we're soft. The hardest dudes, the hardest girls, we're soft as far as relationships. And that doesn't just mean like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife. It could be friendships. It has relationships as well. Like we're soft. A lot of people don't understand the real when it's okay, 40, 50, 60-year relationships. Now, like they don't understand it. They don't grasp the concept. Being in a monogamous relationship these days, people think, hey, I'm gonna be with this person today and I'm not gonna be with this person tomorrow. They want to be an adult on Monday, but then they want to be a kid on Tuesday, and it doesn't work like that. In order for you to grow through something or get through something, you really got to take the time to really not only get to know somebody, but go through the storm with them, weather the storm with them. And that is also a part of me versus me. How hard are you willing to fight for people you care about? What are you willing to do for the people that you care about? And what are some of the risks involved with the people that you care about? Are you really ready to be in a situation to where through thick and thin, hell and high water, you be there? Can you say I'm ready to support somebody in that manner? Because if you're not, and you claim to want to be married, then you don't want to be married at all. You don't want to go through a situation where you're in lust and not in love. A lot of people fall in lust. They see something and it looks good on the outside, but when you get to really know a person, their inside is very important. Where's your soul? Like, where are you going? Do you have a relationship with God? Do you really take the time to get to know people? Do you really get the opportunity to give yourself to somebody as far as getting to know them and them getting to know you? Do you really take the time out to really get to know yourself in certain circumstances and situations? Have you really forgiven yourself for being in situations to where you have to figure it out, or your back is against the wall and you and this person have to figure things out? You don't have mama, you don't have daddy, you don't have brother, you don't have sister, you don't have grandma, you don't have grandpa. Do you really take the time out to really think about your situations? If I'm going to war with somebody, I want to know that this person got my back. I want to know if, whatever happens, this person got my back 110%. That's how you know when you're ready to be married, when you can say, all right, I know I can depend on this person. A lot of y'all out there legit can't depend on nobody. A lot of y'all claim, you for this person, you for that person, and a lot of y'all really not. You really not for that person, because if you was really for that person, you would be trying to help them understand what's real and what's not real. It's a thin line between reality and perception. People can perceive to be one thing and in reality be something totally different. And another thing, as far as me versus me, that, that I listened to a couple of times, because I watched the video, I think in a total 5-6 times. And what he was saying was, you really have to know yourself. You have to know what it is that you want as a person. And men sometimes, this one is for the men, men sometimes say they want things that they're not willing to do as far as for the other person. You say, okay, I want to commit a relationship, but you don't want to commit to a woman. And it goes the same with women. Women sometimes say they want to be married, but they have to understand that, in order for you to get married, you have to be doing wifely things before you even get married. Because every woman isn't a wife, just like every man isn't a husband. It's a process. And being able to trust the process, you have to go through a process and get through a process to even come out of that process to be in a position to do something better. This is the reason why a lot of people find themselves in pointless and meaningless relationships. If you don't have a vision, if y'all not sitting down talking about, where you see yourself in the next 2 years, where you see yourself in the next 5 years, where are you guys going? What are you guys doing? If you're not having those type of conversations, your relationship is meaningless. You don't have any value. It has no value. It has no structure. So it's like, find yourself someone that understands you as a person, but has a vision for you guys together. It should be a lot of we's, a lot of us, not a lot of I, not a lot of me. Once you get to that point, then you have a person that's dealing with a selfish spirit, and you don't want pride, you don't want ego, you don't want self-centered people to come in and take you away from what God has called you to do. God is calling you to be somebody, and God is instructing you on a path, or directing you on a path rather, and you still have to take that path whether this person is with you or not. I'm just so grateful and so thankful that, I was going through a process, and I was going through things. I wasn't always the best boyfriend. I wasn't always the best, friend, or the best brother, or the best son. But, change is everything. Change starts mentally. That's where change starts. If you don't change the way that you think and change your circle as far as who's around you, a lot of your same ways are going to be the same. And you're not going to be able to change it because you don't understand it. You think you're doing fine and you're not. If you plan on being married, then you can't hang around single people. If you plan on being in a relationship, then your friends or your peers should be in relationships. You can't intertwine those. You can't intermingle, because what happens is you'll start developing a single mindset. You'll think it's okay to do single things. And it's not okay to do single things if you're in a relationship. A lot of times people find themselves in relationships to where they feel alone. They don't feel comfortable enough having conversations with the person that they say they love, or the person that loves them. You have to find that common ground. This is what it takes to really hone in on self. Reflect on self while you're single. It's a time and a place for that. Reflect on self while you're single, so when you get with someone, you know exactly what it is that you want when you want it. Understand the importance of being single for a season. And that season it's not a long season. It's a brief stint so that you can figure out what it is that you want. I'm not telling you to go out here and sleep with multiple people. I'm not telling you to go out here and really date 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 people and still call yourself single. No, find out what it is that you want and put yourself in a situation to where you can obtain everything you want with someone. Because it's not good for man to be alone, and it's not good for woman to back a man that doesn't know what he wants. That is me versus me all day, every day. And you have to understand, you got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I need to change these things, not only for me, but for the woman that God ordained for me. Me versus me.